Good morning. I'm Angelica Tischler of Angelica Tischler Wellness. Today I'd like to talk about Setu, Bandha, Sarvangasana, which is the bridge pose. I will be talking about various modifications and variations based on how it feels for you. Three things that I teach in all of my classes are, number one, focusing on the breath the entire time. You want to find a nice, fluid, long, deep, even breath. Number two is really being conscious of the way you feel. Not just physically in the pose, but mentally, energetically, emotionally. Just see what comes up and sort of just allow whatever happens to happen. And the third thing is to bring your awareness back to the moment all the time. The three are sort of interchangeable. If you're focusing on your breath and you're focusing on the way you feel, you are focusing on the present moment. So this pose is done in a reclined position on our backs. So I just want to mention, once I get into that pose, I'm not going to be turning my head to the side talking to you. I'm going to be looking straight up towards the ceiling. It's really important when you come into this pose, into this particular posture, that you're not turning your head in the middle of the pose. So maybe I would suggest listening to this video first and then coming into the posture after, and just listen to the sound of my voice for the cues. Number two is, if you do have a block, grab a block. It's going to help you just to keep your knees in alignment, because we're going to be placing the block between the inner thighs. And I'm going to ask you to suddenly squeeze the knees, because the tendency is for the knees to splay outwards when we're in the pose. So let's come into the posture right now. We're going to line our backs. And then just check in with the way this feels. Your shoulder blades nicely connect into the earth, and then notice what it's like for your head. You don't want to bring your chin too much towards your chest so the back of your neck is flat. You want to keep that natural arch underneath the cervical spine. So a good idea is to take your fingers, see if you can just nicely slide them underneath. However, if your chin is jutting up like this, I do suggest that you ever so subtly bring your chin in towards your chest. If there's ever neck strain, what you can do is place a blanket underneath your back, roughly where the edge of your shoulder is, and then your head can lower down and you've got some relief in the cervical spine. Next thing we're going to do is have your feet hip width apart and square your feet. Very often when you come into the pose, your toes are angled outwards. This is very exaggerated. So what I recommend to people is look up, look past your right hip. Just see, is your baby toe and heel in a straight line? Look past your left hip, baby toe, heel in a straight line, and then lower your head once again. Then you're going to connect into the four corners of your feet. If you do have a block, take that block and just squeeze it gently in the inner thighs. And then your hands. I want you to be very comfortable here with the shoulders. You can have your palms by your sides, fingers pressing down. You can grip the edge of your mat, or if you wish to really open up and externally rotate the shoulders, you can have your palms facing up. Play around with all the different variations. I'm going to have my hands by my sides, palms facing down for the beginning. So, allow this movement to be very fluid. We're going to start at the base of the spine, slowly moving upwards. Pressing into the four corners of your feet, gently squeezing the block together. You're going to tighten the buttocks ever so subtly. Drop the navel into your spine, and right now just feel the tailbone lifting. You're lengthening the lumbar area, and then continue to move the hip bones up and ever so gently towards the head. And then slowly lowering, uncurling the spine one vertebra at a time. Now, if you felt the block was your knees are too far in, you can always turn the block to the side, squeeze the block in and see if that feels more comfortable. It really depends on how wide your hips are. So we'll do that again. Navel draws into your spine, tailbone lifts up, gently squeezing into the block, into the butt, and tightening the buttocks. Lifting up here. Finding that fluidity, just checking in. How deep can you comfortably go? See if you can move the outer parts of your arms down into the mat. And then uncurl your spine, making that continual spinal contact. Let go and release. We'll do that one more time, linking the breath with the movement. Inhale, press into the base of the big toe, squeezing the block if you have one. Gently tightening the buttocks, lifting up, and then as you exhale, lowering down. We're going to do that again, holding the pose this time. So pressing the four corners of your feet into the earth, squeezing the block gently, tightening the buttocks, lifting up that tailbone, lifting it up further and further. Checking in with how this feels. Is there freedom in your neck? Pressing the shoulders down. Really pressing into the outer edges, the triceps, down into the earth. Feel the chest open. Now hold this pose here, checking in with how it feels. Gently squeezing into the knees. If this is really comfortable, especially in the shoulders, you can interlace your fingers underneath your back. Then wiggling one shoulder, then the other shoulder underneath. Moving the hands down towards the earth. Breathing here. Can you find the breath? A nice rhythm to your breath. Checking in, where are you feeling this pose? Just acknowledging it. If it's too intense anywhere, back out of the posture, it's okay. And then releasing the hands, move them out to the side. You can even have your palms up now. And uncurl your spine once again, making that continual spinal contact. Removing the block. From here, just hug one thigh into your body, then the other thigh into your body. Move the shoulders away from the ears and gently rocking back and forth. This should feel really good in the lower back. You can even do circles with your knees if that feels better. Targeting one direction and then the other direction. Coming back to center. Lowering your feet to the earth. Rolling over now to your comfortable side. Coming to a seated position once again. Just close your eyes for a couple of breaths, checking in with how that felt all along your spine. For a list of all the benefits, I will attach it to the link below. If you did like this video, please subscribe to this video, to this channel. And click the bell and you'll get all the updates of the upcoming postures. Have a wonderful day. Namaste.